stating the same things that we stated before about the town council with a cover letter to them requesting that they take the same position because of the blatant and egregious violation of the coastal program.
You even got a duck on there.
Yeah, I think coastal brought the duck. No. Okay, I have a motion. You have a second from Maureen. Any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Carol? Okay.
Patrick, you seconded that?
I know.
No, you seconded it. I think you said you seconded it.
Pat.
I think you did.
Actually, she moved it.
Oh,
I didn't second it.
okay.
Do we have a second?
Then we need a second.
I'll second it. Kate second.
Kate will second. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So we'll take care of that, get a letter to them right away, get another letter to the council. Your next meeting is when, Mike?
January 4th.
Okay, so we got time to get a letter to them, so. Okay. Thank you on that one. And question, before we leave that one now, should we send, I guess we should mention, we'll just cover both the Prakashani and the Hamilton Young, all in the same letter.
And just to reiterate, that's a 10-year program, isn't it?
Which
So
one?
that you can get into the farm space and open fields
Farm
program
space.
and out in 10 years.
It is
And
10 years.
I guess one of the
Yeah.
concerns is that, the landscape will be altered and then removed from the program and then suddenly it's suitable
No,
for another purpose?
No, to be in, you're talking about Farm Forest Open Space Act. To be in the program, you have to qualify as a farm first. And I think that was what Ken Ayers said in his letter, that the person who was applying was one, not the owner of the property, and he had to prove that he was one of farm.
Okay, but wasn't another one of the limitations of that program
10 years?
with the fact that, you could get out of it in 10 years, and if during the course of those 10 years you alter the hydrology of your property, then it would maybe be suitable for a different,
Purpose after 10 years.
Yeah, right. I think we raised that issue last time. But no, you can be into it if the first term is up for 10 years, to 10 years, you can get out of it before 10 years, but you pay a penalty for every year you haven't been in it.
yeah, but you have to make the land, revert the land to what.
I don't think so. But I think you have to prove that it's a farm, and I think that's where they have problems. Okay, anything else on that? And we'll include the Hamilton and Young in there also, because it's all part of the same project. Okay, old business, conservation planning. The council last night approved the expenditure of the $4,000, actually $10,000, $5,000, $4,000 coming from the planning fund that Lisa approved, and then $1,000 from the Conservation Commission budget. So we sent them a letter. I actually sent a letter to Bruce telling him that we had.
Chris, what do we have our budget?
We have $2,200. I don't know how much we have left.
How do we do with the
Trail guides?
Yeah.
We're probably close to, I think we're close to $2,000 on trail guides.
Right.
So we're doing okay on trail guides, and that's the reason why we thought we could spend $1,000 on the
Okay.
budget, because for any trail work, we can use the trail money, as long as it's related directly to the trail.
Where did the 4,000 come from?
The 4,000 is coming from.
Other sources.
No, it was on the last night. There's some sort of a fund for planning that VC uses for planning purposes, and Bruce asked it to come out of that fund. The council.
This is for Tony's thing, right?
This is for Tony.
So I wasn't here last time. Okay.
Right, this is for Tony's thing. I called Tony this morning. I told him that the council had approved it, and I talked with Tina, and Tina said that she could cut a check for the first $1,000, which is part of the agreement. The agreement is that he won't even start with the first, first payment. I told him that we need a contract first. He's going to send a contract. He's going to email me a contract. We'll get the contract signed, everybody. He's going to make the additional change on the contract to add in the review of the affordable housing provisions to make sure there's no conflicting problems with the conservation zoning and affordable housing provisions. So he agreed to do that. And he wouldn't agree to the 4 meetings, which I think I told everybody about. He would only agree to the 2 meetings, but I think that's reasonable. At least I thought it was reasonable. So as soon as we get a contract, we get it signed, then Tina can cut a check.
I wasn't here last time, Chris, I'm sorry, but so whatever he does will be implemented into.
Did you get a copy of the proposal?
I do have a copy of the proposal, yeah.
Did you read that? Okay.
I do.
Yeah, basically what he did is he gave us a proposal.
But I mean, from our end of it,
right?
We would be taking his proposal, or the town would be taking his proposal, or his findings, and that would be the opportunity to implement them and to.
No, basically he's going to give us a finished product, or he's going to give us a draft. The draft will be reviewed, He's basically going to integrate the conservation planning into the existing documents.
Okay, that's what I wanted to.
Right, he's gonna.
Are we gonna
right.
penetrate?
Well, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. No, I think he'll actually.
Full substitution, which is probably.
Yeah, he's done this to probably a half a dozen communities around the state already, and he said it's pretty boilerplate, at least the beginning of it, and then he customizes it to the particular community, so he's working on
And the
those
changes
comments
are
right now.
radical, I don't think. There's no
No.
taking, there's no like preventing people from doing things they couldn't have done. Just,
Tweaking.
no, it's just a
No,
more
it's a-
careful process.
It's wording.
We're
A little bit. So, he said we will get a draft, probably not, probably before the end of the year, I think. It sounds like he's gonna move pretty fast once he gets the money. And then there'll be a meeting, and Lisa would be a coordinator on this with us. So that's gonna move forward. But I should email Mark and tell him, he was
he
so
in
worried.
Brazil? Where is he?
He's in Brazil.
He's in Brazil?
He's in Brazil, and I told him that we're going to the council, and hopefully they would approve it, and Bruce was behind it, so I wouldn't do worried. Okay, Kate, Bike Path Committee, do you want to say anything, or do you want to?
Yeah, just quickly, just bring
I've got
everybody
the
up.
letter, do you want the letter, just the letter?
I have it,
You just kind of go over it.
Yeah, I'll just go over it.
Yeah, Bob Sutton made a presentation last night to the
Right.
council and the public about the section that runs from North Road to Lower Avenue, so.
So basically, we went through, this was our first draft. We all put input into, oh, well, let me back up for a minute.
We can't see it.
I'm sorry, excuse me. As you guys know, originally when we had started this, the Bike Path Committee was originally in October of 2008 gangbusters about North Road and starting there. And the evolution over time, as we talked about some of the things that we would have to like jump in on, it evolved that the first step, it was, I'm not taking claim for it, but it was the first step. I said, why don't we look at Cross Island? It would be easier, a Cross Island route. And because we had been talking to landowners on, having to intrude on their land and give up rights of way and all of that stuff, where this is all town property. And it would allow people on bikes, walkers, whatever, to get across the island and not have to use Car Lane. And anybody that has ever, I don't think too many people walk Car Lane, but if you try to ride on Car Lane, I've been riding the island for 4 years, and the only 2 times I've ever crashed in 4 years were with cars on Car Lane. So safety first, obviously beauty is all part of this. And so we went through this whole rigmarole and got to the point where we realized that this would be a great first step because there's money out there for the whole island bike path concept, but this would be a nice harbinger for the rest of the plan because it will be a successful one. And basically, I can read, we got through all of this, and do you want me to?
Just do the highlight, you can do
You want me
highlight.
to highlight it, just bullet it?
Yeah, I just, each one of those, there's 5 or 6 things on you,
Okay.
highlight what they were.
So, Chris, you jump in where there's conservation issues, if any, which I don't think there are at this point, but
But before you start, what I want you to do is think about anything here that
that you might.
be comments back from our perspective, back to the committee.
Okay. So we're coming in here, just overview, we're coming right in through here.
It's the dam, everybody knows the North Monroe.
That's the, right. We'll talk about this in a minute, the ice road thing. And rather than just straighten, make it like 95, as Bob said last night, we had suggested when we all went and walked it to make it, I said, a little more organic, move it around a little bit, and come out here. Chris, you're going to have to talk about all of this because you're better versed on this than I am. And obviously there's crosswalks here, stenciling. The whole point of it is to get people to be able to move from the east side of the island to the west side of the island and back again in a visually beautiful, which it is, safe environment, enjoyable. It's going to be blacktop. Bob went into detail about the blacktop last night versus other mediums for the path, but blacktop is, he said in New England, it's the most durable, skateboarders, walkers, whatever. I can go through the whole thing here. Chris,
Yeah, we can just start.
what do you want me to do?
Well, just just so you understand, they're coming off North Road right here, there's an old road